Understanding food safety governance begins with FSSA Chapter 12. Section 85 defines the center FSSAI link. The central government holds authority, but directives are strictly limited to policy decisions. The law explicitly prevents the center from interfering in technical or administrative matters, preserving the food authority's independence. If a dispute arises over whether a matter is truly a policy issue or a technical one, the statute grants the central government the power to make the final determination. Moving further down the hierarchy, Section 86 empowers the central government to issue mandatory directions to state governments to ensure the act is effectively implemented across the country. These two sections establish a top-down statutory hierarchy. Policy directives flow from the center, while technical agency independence is legally protected. Enforcement relies on field officers. Section 87 designates food safety commissioners as public servants under the Indian Penal Code. To protect them, Section 88's Good Faith Clause prevents civil suits or prosecution against officials acting honestly within their authorized duties. Section 89 introduces the concept of the overriding effect. If any food-related laws contradict the FSSA 2006, this act serves as the supreme law, instantly nullifying the older, inconsistent provisions. By linking these three sections, the Act grants field officers the indemnity and legal supremacy required to enforce food safety without the risk of personal litigation or interference from conflicting local laws. Transitioning to a new agency requires personnel. Section 90 facilitates this by transferring existing employees from older central food agencies into the Food Authority. Transferred staff retain their previous pay scales, leave balances, provident funds, and all other terminal benefits they were entitled to before the move. Employees who prefer not to join the FSSAI are given a 6-month window to opt out of the transfer. Section 91 formally grants the central government the power to establish the administrative rules for the entire system. These rules define the qualifications for officers and analysts, the preparation of budgets, and the standardized formats for annual reporting. Under Section 91, the central government builds the administrative scaffolding, while the scientific standards of food safety are reserved for the technical agency. Technical and scientific control is granted to the Food Authority under Section 92, which empowers them to draft regulations. This power is checked by a specific constraint. The FSSAI can only finalize these regulations with the prior approval of the central government. These regulations set the standards for food items, additives, packaging, licensing procedures, and the specific mechanics of product recalls. Section 93 ensures these wide-ranging powers are subject to democratic oversight. Every rule and regulation drafted under this Act must be presented before each House of Parliament while it is in session. Parliament has a 30-day period to review the proposed laws, after which they can modify or completely cancel the legislation. This structure ensures that while the FSSAI provides the science and the center provides the policy, Parliament retains the ultimate democratic veto. Moving to the local level, Section 94 defines the rulemaking authority of the state governments. Any rules proposed by a state require prior FSSAI approval and must be presented to the state legislature for review. Section 95 allows states to incentivize enforcement by establishing reward funds for citizens who assist in identifying offenders. When penalties are issued, Section 96 ensures they are collected with high-stakes consequences. Unpaid fines are recovered as arrears of land avenue. Until the penalty is paid, the offender's license remains automatically suspended. Sections 94 through 96 ensure that federal law translates into enforceable, financially binding consequences at the ground level. Legal transitions must avoid vacuums. Section 97 officially repeals the legacy acts listed in the second schedule, but includes critical savings protections. This ensures ongoing prosecutions, accrued rights, and previous penalties issued under old laws remain fully active and enforceable. Existing licenses are protected, staying valid until their natural expiration dates under the new FSSA framework. However, the Act sets a hard deadline. After a 3-year grace period, courts will no longer recognize offenses under repealed laws. This deliberate transition avoids administrative chaos while ensuring the legal system maintains pressure on offenders during the phase-out of the old laws. Under Section 98, existing food standards and safety requirements remain in force until the FSSAI publishes its own updated standards. Section 99 specifically targets the 1992 Milk and Milk Product Order, converting it into a regulation under the new FSSAI architecture. Section 100 updates the Infant Milk Substitutes Act of 1992 to match the new regulatory structure. It replaces all legal references to the old 1954 Prevention of Food Adulteration Act with the FSSAI 2006. This section also updates job titles across legacy laws, permanently replacing the term food inspector with food safety officer. Together, sections 98 through 100 act as surgical updates, rewriting legacy laws so they function within the modern food safety system. The final provision is Section 101, the Power to Remove Difficulties Clause. To address unforeseen legal obstacles during implementation, the central government can issue extraordinary orders to resolve them immediately. This emergency power is strictly temporary. It expires 3 years after the Act's commencement. Even these emergency orders are subject to democratic control and must be laid before Parliament for review. Chapter 12 delivers the political engine, legal protections, and administrative mechanics required to build and operate India's entire food safety machinery.